Hey there, I'm executive producer Simon Fox, and thanks for checking out another episode of the Daily's Double Shot. Our staff has nearly doubled in size since our last edition, and tonight you'll get to meet some of the new faces of our student journalist team. In the last few weeks, we've continued to document student life from a student perspective, and we hope you enjoy our stories, which range from every single corner of campus and beyond. First up, we welcome a Seattle hip-hop icon into the studio and listen to his thoughts on an up-and-coming artist named Ayron Jones. Then, we meet up with the marching band's newest tumbler, Krissy Terwilliger. Next, ROTC members here at UW tell us about their everyday balance between being a cadet and being a student. Film Focus is back with Alex Hardison and John Stolarczyk taking a look at Thor 2, The Dark World, and its implications for the Marvel franchise. Then we head down to Pike Place Market to explore the colorful culture there. Finally, Seth Halleran talks to members of the Seattle Slick wheelchair basketball team coordinated through Seattle Adaptive Sports. All this coming up on the Daily's Double Shot.
Yeah.
I'll see you there. Okay.
It's not every day that a Seattle legend is in the Daily newsroom, so when I heard that Sir Mix-a-Lot was going to be right here, I just had to stop by. I brought a couple cameras with me, and check out this interview that I edited together of Sir Mix-a-Lot and Ayron Jones talking about a collaborative project that they put together called Dreams.
My posse's on Broadway.
The album is a compilation of stories and lessons I've learned. I call it urban rock, which is really just a blend of like hip hop, rock, and punk music. I entitled it Dream because really, I mean, there's in quantum physics they say that the mind can't tell the difference between a thought and reality, you know, which means that basically when you fall asleep and dream, your mind basically believes that's real.
Can you explain how you guys got hooked up?
We had a couple of mutual friends, and one in particular, he called me like 5 times, dude, you gotta hear this band, dude, you gotta hear this band. I was like, man, I hear that all the time, right? And you go out there and they usually suck, but this guy has taste. And I went out and checked him out, and I mean, from outside, just hearing him, I was like, woo, wait a minute, this is serious. It's his thoughts, his ideas, his project. And my thing is to take what he's saying, when he articulates, and he does a good job of it, then I make it reality. So I can't throw 10 ounces of Mix-a-Lot in it, then it wouldn't be Ayron.
What do you like about it?
Because the skill level. You know, most of the time at his age, you know, kids don't take musicianship serious. It's all about making a little pop jingle and getting paid and smoking a lot of weed. And what I walked in and saw was art, pure art. Many people that I know that do rock were trying to tell me how to produce his record. You gotta roll everything from 200 hertz and down off. Just roll it off because they don't want, but he was like, no, dude, I want my kick to hit. I want windows to shake.
At this point, I think we're ready for New York, we're ready for LA, we're ready for all these different states. Like I think our band just got to that point. Being around him has been amazing because it's, when we first started this project, I consider myself a good guitar player, but I didn't really consider myself much of an artist. Yeah. And I think that was one of the biggest lessons I learned in understanding that this music is not for me, it's for the people that hear it.
Well, I don't think I have anything else to say unless there's anything else you guys would like to add.
Be genuine in what you do and take it seriously.
I like to add that, damn, this girl got an ass right here.
Hi, I'm Alex Bosco. I had the privilege of sitting down with UW's newest twirler, Krissy Terwilliger. Sitting down with Krissy, I learned about the lifestyle of a twirler and her role in the greater part of the marching band as a whole. And I got her number in the process.
Hi, I am Krissy Terwilliger, and I'm the featured twirler for the Husky marching band. basically, the twirler is supposed to be more of I'm like the face of the marching band, and I kind of represent the school in general. And so it's basically kind of about just being excited and being super happy for going to this school. The band gets this paper that has a drill on it, so it's like where everybody's spots are, and they don't put me in the drill or the two drum majors. And we basically take each paper, which is each different formation that we make, and we find a spot that we think we'd fit in. Once I figure out my spot, so I kind of work with the marching band, and as they move around trying to figure out where they're going, I figure out where I'm going so I don't collide with people and everything, to make sure I have enough open space so I don't hit anyone, and then they start playing the music with it. And as I play the music with it, I practice my routine. Like, I just come up with something and I see if it works based off of the high notes that the band plays, and like when they, like, sometimes they'll just stand still and like raise up their instruments, and there are certain key points where I'm supposed to like do a toss here. And they chose me in part because you have to be able to know where in the music things fit. So I started twirling when I was about 4 years old. My parents just kind of signed me up for as many sports as they could, like karate and swimming and gymnastics and dance. And twirling, there happened to be a class at the YMCA, very little, but now it's been ingrained into everything I do, and it's more of a part of me, and it helps kind of define who I am. And I love it, and I wouldn't be anywhere close to where I am. I wouldn't be at this school if it wasn't for it, and I'm super happy. And I don't know what I would do if I wasn't a twirler. Washington is super different. New York, everything's kind of uptight. I mean, we're blunt and it's nice, and we talk a little funny. Like I say, coffee weird. But anyway, other than that, it's pretty similar. I mean, it's different, but it's similar. We're still human, and we still like coffee and pizza and the usual things. However, Washington is more down to earth, I'd like to say, and everyone's super sweet and genuine, and I love that. So, other than twirling, I am majoring in mechanical engineering and vocal performance, so I like science and putting things together, and I like to sing. I'm in the university chorale, which is pretty time consuming, and I also have vocal lessons to learn about 3 songs each quarter. And then I have marching band, I'm thinking of my classes, music theory, and then chemistry. So my main things is mechanical engineering and vocal stuff. But other than that, I like longboarding. I'm really bad, but I'm learning. I scuba dive. That's just in the summer because it's super cold now. And yeah, I like to sleep. I love sleeping when I get around to it. It's a good time. My favorite color is periwinkle, not blue. I love blue, but I love periwinkle in particular. I think it's beautiful. My favorite band is Blink-182. I like 90s punk music, but I like a lot of music since I'm a music major. I kind of have to. And I like vocal jazz, like old style, Frank Sinatra sort of thing, but I also like rap and electronic music and pop, but I don't like country. It's the one thing I really can't get into.
Hi, I'm Yunjung Yang, and my segment is on college life as a ROTC cadet here at University of Washington. I had a chance to interview some great, friendly cadets out there, so I hope you enjoy.
There's a lot of good memories I have from ROTC. Probably the one that sticks out most in my mind are the many times that I woke up at 5:30 in the morning and it was cold and rainy and it's a typical Seattle day, and I had to bike from my apartment over in Brooklyn all the way down to the UW stadium to do physical training, just asking myself, why am I doing this?
Sound, attention! We push for the idea of having ROTC as a family, more so than a military detachment on campus. And part of the way we do that is we start creating a culture around our cadets, especially in the Air Force side. I'm sure the other branches do it as well, where we want everyone to know that we're here to support you, and not only support you through your college career, but also give you the guidance to become a Air Force officer in the United States military right after graduation.
It definitely is different from joining the military right out of high school, because you're not thrown into a situation where drill sergeants are screaming at you and people are messing up your bed and telling you to make it really quickly, or making you do all sorts of uncomfortable things like be out in the rain, sleep out in the woods. You're definitely a student first if you're in ROTC. Military training comes second. And it's basically a leadership program for the military. So it's a chance for the military to combine training an officer, a future officer in the United States Army, with your civilian education.
So like when I first started my freshman year, I was in the greatest cadet because I joined ROTC on the assumption that it was just a bunch of lazy college students who just kind of ran around and just played with fake rifles. When I first started, especially my first PT session, which was our physical training sessions, I really knew that I definitely took this whole program way too lightly. Now I'm on to my junior year, like my sophomore year and junior year was just, so far it's just been really great. This year's definitely been a lot more work because when I first started this year, I was thrown immediately into leadership rotations because that's what juniors do. They fill the squad leader, platoon sergeant, first sergeant, platoon leader, like pretty much all the leadership rotations you can think of in the Army. Like anyone who's in charge of anybody, that's them. Now I'm having to keep in charge of 30 plus people. Someone doesn't show up, I have to call them hey, why weren't you here? People are missing gear, I have to make sure I get them the gear. It's basically I'm taking care of a bunch of people.
So the whole ROTC program is run by the senior class at ROTC with oversight from the college faculty.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3.
Because by the time you get to a senior, you've been in the program for a couple years, you kind of know what to expect, and it's finally your chance to lead your fellow peers.
So we ask a lot of the cadets here. We have you wake up early in the morning, we have you work out all the time, but at the end of the day, with the help of our cadre, who are basically our active duty guidance counselors and teachers, they help us decide and try and learn how to become the best version of Air Force officers we can be.
Hi, I'm John Stolarczyk. Last year's film critic David Chrisman graduated, so this year me and Alex Hardison will be taking over the helm. Recently we saw Thor 2, The Dark World, so hang onto your jorts for this week's Film Focus.
Hey Huskies, welcome to Film Focus. I'm Alex Hardison.
And I'm John Stolarczyk, and we took in Thor 2, The Dark World. Thor 2 picks up right where the Avengers left off. With a pissed off Loki in jail, Thor running around Asgard with his mom and dad. Guess what? His dad wants him to be king.
We've all been there.
All been there.
So the main plot of the movie is that these dark elves from the dark world find this weapon of mass destruction.
And guess what? They're going to do bad things with it. They're going to destroy Earth, so Thor's got to step in and save the day.
I'll find a way to save us all.
One of the best parts of the movie is the wide sweeping shots of Asgard. You didn't get to see as much of it in Thor 1, but they really let the graphic designers go for it in Thor 2.
Oh yeah, it's a marvel what you can do with special effects nowadays. Speaking of Marvel,
Thor 2 comes on the heels of Marvel's announcement that 4 new TV shows will be debuting straight to Netflix. These shows are Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage. They have about 15 or so different franchises working right now. Marvel's taking over everything.
Marvel's monopolizing the superhero genre of cinema, the TV market, and everything in between.
So how do you think Marvel is doing this?
Well, one thing about Marvel comics in general is that they have a lot of interconnected universes. So they can feed off one movie into another and do spin-off series and stuff like that. So it's really wherever they want to take it.
Right. And all these movies have generally unoffensive plots and likable casts like Robert Downey Jr.
And it's good that you mentioned the unoffensive nature of these movies because that's basically the modern model for Hollywood cinema, Hollywood blockbusters, and just movies in general.
I think my favorite part although the sweeping shots of Asgard are pretty great, I really like Loki, played by Tom Hiddleston.
He's just such a good villain.
He's a great villain, but he gets the audience invested in him somehow, and I think he's one of the best characters in the Marvel universe.
All right, John, what's the verdict?
I'd give this 3 out of 5 stars. It's I think it's about hit his ceiling for what it is in this age of increased serialization of movies. It's got a great cast, great special effects, great popcorn movie. Highly enjoyable.
I'd give it 3 out of 5 stars too. Obviously there were lapses in the narrative, but that's to be expected when you're going to see a movie of this nature. As far as superhero movies go, the special effects make it really enjoyable. See it in 3D or IMAX or both, and we'll see you at the movies. Hey, how's it going? I'm Alex Hardison. As a UW student, it can be easy to confine yourself to the 10 square blocks that is the University of Washington. But if you're looking to expand your horizons, head on down to Pike Place Market. This piece was a lot of fun to make, and I'm sure you'll have just as much fun when you go down to check it out yourself. If you're not from around here, the first image that might come to mind when you think of Seattle is probably the Space Needle. But the second is probably Pike's Place Market. On the off chance that you've never been down here, here's a look at what you have waiting to discover. From groceries to arts and crafts to a tasty bite to eat, you can find it all at Seattle's Pike's Place Market. Located on Seattle's waterfront, the market welcomes 10 million people to its stands and shops annually. And you could be one of them. It's hard to measure time in a city. Delicious. The market is made up entirely of honest and friendly local people who offer some of the highest quality products around. Don't worry, it's just cheese. Beecher's world famous. The diversity of the goods offered at Pike's Place makes it a true cultural melting pot. From Puget Sound to the Orient, you can find it all here. And for those of you who like your fruits and veggies, there are produce stands as far as the eye can see. Oh, and did I mention the seafood?
Yes! Woohoo! Let's see, our fish market is part of the Pike Place Market in general, which opened in 1907. The fish market, as it stands now, was built in 1930. In the 1980s is when John and the crew realized that they were losing a lot of business, and that if they throw a fish up there, they can move fish faster. And so they started just grabbing a fish, tossing it up there, just like this. Here, how about a TT? How about a TT? Man, by word of mouth, generated all these things. Oh, wow, go see those guys that throw fish. And then all of a sudden the cameras started to come. So what we learned is that, when we set an intention, things happen in the world to support that intention. And we became world famous without spending money on marketing. It was awesome.
Pike Place Market, a true wonder of the Northwest, and only a quick bus ride away. Check it out.
Hey, I'm Seth Halleran, and I got a chance to head over to the Miller Community Center in Cap Hill the other night to watch the Seattle Slick wheelchair basketball team practice and play a couple of pickup games. We went along with UW's Hillel and watched their participants join in and play some games with the guys on the team. They were all really great and super welcoming. They didn't hold anything back telling us their stories. Shouts out to Hillel and Seattle Adaptive Sports, and enjoy. Seattle Adaptive Sports is a not-for-profit organization dedicated to the promotion of the well-being of physically challenged individuals by giving them the opportunity to participate and compete in athletic and recreational activities.
I think it's really just helped lift my spirits about my whole accident and just everything.
It's motivation, that extra energy, that effort, that extra push.
So we love to be able to show the ability here and not the disability.
We went along with UW's Hillel, who got a chance to meet and play with the Seattle Slick team members.
lot of us can walk anywhere. We can play basketball when we want to. We can get a job, go to school when we want to, and for a lot of people that's not the case.
At first, I didn't know what to expect at all. I mean, I thought of how great of an opportunity I'd love to learn more about this, and I was a little nervous to like play basketball in the wheelchair and everything because it's just something that I'm not used to. But I was pleasantly surprised.
There's not a whole lot of recognition, and I mean, before my accident, I didn't even know this existed. We got to do this all day. Even when we're done here, we still got to push ourselves around just to get back into our cars.
I'm the executive director of Seattle Adaptive Sports, and we are an organization that provides sports for people with physical disabilities. So amputation, spinal cord injuries, cerebral palsy, from recreation all the way to the elite competitive. So our organization started in 1991. I've been the executive director for about 13 years. We're all volunteers. Our athletes talk about how it's great physical therapy, how it's connection and community, how working and being with other people like themselves. Sometimes that's just important to do.
You know, if you wanted to go play a game of hoops, you buy a $50 pair of shoes, you show up at the Y, you can go shoot hoops. You know, it takes a bit more for us. You know, a $2,000 to $4,000 piece of gear that it takes for us to go play. And then finding the people to go play with. I mean, I was at the Y last night shooting around. I'm the only guy in a chair. I'm not going to have a pickup game at the Y.
Well, wheelchair basketball, I've been refereeing for almost 20 years. Since I've been in the wheelchair basketball, approbation, it's been a great opportunity.
Through the support of Seattle Adaptive Sports, the Seattle Slick can raise the stakes far above pickup games at the Y.
So December 7th and 8th, the first weekend of December every year, we have Seattle Jam, where they qualify for the Nationals, for the National Wheelchair Basketball's National Championships that will be in Kentucky in April.
Competition means a lot to the team, but so does spreading the greater breadth of their message.
We've done halftimes for a Seattle Sonics game. And where else do you get 20,000 people to see ability? Those people walk away, and maybe somebody in that group is going to be the manager of a job looking to hire somebody one day, and they're not going to be afraid or discouraged to interview somebody with a disability.
One of our participants tore both his ACL about 8 years ago and hasn't been he used to play basketball all the time. He was a big basketball player and hasn't been able to play since. And he said to me for the first time in 8 years that he felt like a basketball player again.
I've been told that, I seem pretty happy in my chair. It's like, sure. I mean, it stinks that I'm in one, but life goes on. It can be happy, it can be competitive, it can be all those things, and it doesn't really matter if you're in a chair or not.
Well, that's all the content we've got for you tonight, but make sure you tune in to our next episode. In the meantime, you can check us out online at dailyuw.com/doubleshot. We really appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you next time on the Daily's Double Shot.